Hey guys. So it's been a while since I've made a video. I've actually moved since then, which has been a few months. I've gotten a lot of information that I wanted to share, but was also just kind of taking a break after I moved to kind of rest and integrate and just kind of take a vacation on all of my work. And through that, also kind of redefining my perception and my belief system and my growth. And like how I, approach my practice, which I think we all are doing as consciousness and the energy changes. And this is kind of what this video is about, is certain constructs and perspectives and healing modalities and tools. I don't know about you, but they change for me whenever I level up. Resources that I use, even like tarot readers that I follow on YouTube, like I'll stop resonating with their energy, so I like move out of that like sort of collective, if that makes sense, because I think that a lot of like YouTube readers who do general readings are tapping into, well, even spiritual teachers or energy readers or whatnot, are tapping into a specific group, a specific collective. So I don't know, I feel like I'm like one of those weird little like energy like starseed butterflies that just like pop in and out of all of the collectives and just like, hey, I'm here, like, making my appearance, like doing what I need to do and then popping out and going somewhere else. So this video is gonna be about, I guess what happens when you level up and when you get to a certain dimension or certain consciousness, when you hold a certain consciousness and awareness of what, and I can only speak from my own experience, so that's kind of what I do. So since I moved, and I'm always doing work, whether it's just in the astral plane or, in my energetically, things are constantly, like I'm constantly in a state of ascension. Whether I'm actually like physically taking action or not, or a lot of it happens in my sleep, in my dream time, so I always know that there's something happening, something transforming and activating, whether I'm actually activating it myself or not. So I level up, and I am one of those people that have like rapid ascension. It's like, it makes my head spin sometimes. So literally this last time I leveled up, it literally did make my head spin. Like I was at work. I serve at a bar. I'm a server at a bar. And I was at work and my energy was shifting all over the place, and it almost knocked me over like a couple times. And it was wild. Like I'm very sensitive and very intuitive, but I feel like, my guides really kind of help block me or like shield me from a lot of the intensity that comes from, having rapid ascension, which is I'm super grateful for, because oh my god, it's already like, whoa, change again, okay, all right, like I like the change, I like a little chaos, but at the same time, like I need more stability. So they really, I think, help me out in like not being wrecked all the time by it. But this time it was like I was at work, my energy was shifting all over the place. My brain was just I went into work with a lot of energy, and then as soon as I'm at work, and there's all these other energies going around in the bar because there's all kinds of people there, and whatever, and all of my coworkers have strong energy too, so like I'm just like, whoa, like my brain just like went and my cognitive function was just so fuzzy, and which is not fun when you're a server. Like you want to be sharp, you want your mental clarity to be super sharp and like on point like the whole time, but it's so I'm just kind of dealing with it, like going through. And then my coworker, the other server, I know she started to feel it too, because she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of it all of a sudden. And I could see it on her face. She was just like, ugh. And then she was like, I'm feeling super lightheaded. And I was like, hey, dude, like, you go home if you don't feel good. Like, I got this, Obviously, I can handle the energy a lot better than maybe she can, because she wasn't conscious of it. You know what I mean? So, like, I was conscious of it. I am very in tune, and I have so much energy on my own as it is. So I'm always like carrying this like really intense energy, so I'm used to it. Like I'm used to going to work and serving and just I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I'm getting somewhere. So like I'm used to, the shifts in energy and constantly transforming and carrying this intense energy, and then being at work and going into a trance state because I'm so fucking psychic. Like it is what it is. Like I've gotten used to it. I've learned to like work with it, with the energy. So then the next day, and I know there's like a lot of people that felt this particular shift, and there's all kinds of light coming in and all kinds of activation, and the ascension game has been like insane on top of it, like crazy this year. I mean, last year was intense, but this is like a whole different level, I mean, we're literally in an entirely different dimension now. We're like in, collectively in 5D. The planet is moving into 5D and being a fifth dimensional consciousness, So the next day I woke up and I was like, some would call this disassociation, but I don't disassociate. Like I don't disassociate at all. All kinds of people talk about it, but I'm like, oh, like I don't, I'm always in tune with myself, and I woke up and I was so out of it, but also like in it, I told my friend I was experiencing this, and he was like, oh, I've been experiencing this too today. Like, I'm like, glad I'm not alone, but I felt like I was in a dream, like when you're in a dream and it's kind of fuzzy and like glowy and like ethereal, like very ethereal. And I was just like, whoa, like almost like I was drunk, I mean, I level up all the time, and I've never experienced it this tangibly before, and I'm super sensitive. So like, this was just like, whoa, like I just stepped into an entirely different dimension. Like even when I was at work, I was like, I don't feel like I'm here. Like even these people aren't here. Like we're somewhere else. Like I literally just stepped into a different dimension. Like, whoa, so for the last week, my cognitive function and my perception of time and my memories have been blurry, like blurring together, like mushing together. Like everything's fluid. So like I feel like this, a lot of people are talking about how we're like moving into this like sort of plasmic light energy. And that's really what it feels like. It's very fluid, very like plasmic. So like since last year, like last summer, like the end of the summer, I had a dark night of the soul, and it was like so rough, you know, because it's like in the middle of like eclipse season, and there's all these retrograde planets, and I'm also, you know, I mean, I know everybody was feeling it last year and probably this year too, you know, but like I started to have this like realization and this awakening of like the constructs of reality, of this physical dimension, this reality. And I started to, I stopped resonating a lot with a lot of esoteric teachings and knowledge. You know, a lot of it's put into place and being taught, you know, to help people move into themselves, you know, help people who are asleep and unconscious wake up and take it to step into their power, you know. So the whole journey, you know, an awakening is to like clear out, reprogram trauma, take control of your, you know, of your reality by stepping into the driver's seat and telling the subconscious to take a back seat, you know. So like and like remembering who you are, you know, like waking up. So like all of those constructs are put into place for that. So there's obviously time is a construct of this reality. I think there are other dimensions that probably use time and gravity, maybe in their own way. I feel that. Like I feel like there are other physical dimensions. Obviously, there are endless dimensions in time existing simultaneously with this one, but like, you know, like the Fey realm, like the inner earth is like unmanifest. So they can become physical, but also be non-physical. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like that, like some places, some dimensions are physical, some dimensions are unmanifest, some are, you know, not physical. So I've been just really questioning, you know, my perception of the energy of this, you know, of this reality. So once you shift, actually this, they talk, so I was reading this book, The Art of Dreaming by Carlos Castaneda. Carlos Castaneda was an apprentice to a Mexican shaman named Don Juan. In the books, Carlos Castaneda writes several books about his experience and what he learned from Don Juan. And in the books, Don Juan calls himself a sorcerer. So he doesn't even call himself a shaman, which really is the same thing. It's just different cultures, like different cultural references and titles and whatnot. So, so Don Juan calls himself a sorcerer. So I was reading this book called The Art of Dreaming. So Don Juan teaches Carlos Castaneda how to move between realms and dimensions through dream time, through the dream state. And so the very first chapter, he talks about how our perception of energy is conditioned by this physical realm. So, oh no, I have to pause this because my phone's gonna die. Crap.